Hello, my Biblio darlings. It's so nice to see you, and welcome to Bibliothesia. This is a channel where I bring stories and books to life through reading. In case we haven't met before, let me introduce myself. My name is Mally, and thank you so much for coming back. Or if this is your first time, welcome. Now, the story that we're going to be reading today is called Mr. Tickle, a story by Roger Hargreaves. But pardon me, I just burped. Do you ever burp? Anyway, so before I read to you the story, let's remind our body that it's safe right here and now. And we're going to do that through a deep breathing exercise. And then I'm going to read to you some jokes. Oh, pardon me. And the whole purpose of my reading you a joke is when you laugh, it lets your body know that you're relaxed. So that's the whole purpose of this channel, is to read you stories so you enjoy reading or having the stories read to you, and you learn ways to get your body safe and calm, which is so wonderful. So with that, pretend you have a balloon inside your tummy, and we're going to inhale for 4 counts, hold the breath for 4 counts, and exhale out for 8 counts. So with that pretend balloon, let's inhale deeply for 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's hold the breath for And now exhale out for 8. Good job. Is your body feeling more relaxed and centered? I'm hoping so. And now let me reach over and grab my joke book. And let me read 3 knock-knock jokes to you. So here's the first knock-knock joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Penny. Penny who? Penny a fish in the sea. Oh, plenty of fish in the sea. That's so great. Now, I also find this joke really funny because I really like a show called The Big Bang Theory, and it's no longer on the air, but there was a character by the name of Sheldon. He would always walk over to his next door's neighbor's place, whose name was Penny, and he'd knock on the door. He'd go, knock, knock, Penny, knock, knock, Penny, knock, knock, Penny. So that's what this joke reminds me of, and I used to love The Big Bang Theory, and I still do. So that joke has a very special place in my heart. Here's the second knock, knock joke. Knock, knock, who's there? Castle. Castle who? Cancel your plans. The circus is in town and we can't miss it. Oh, cancel your plans. That's cute. And let's read the third knock-knock joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Aardvark. Aardvark who? Aardvark 100 miles to see you smile. Aw, that's very sweet. Oh, so cute. Pardon me. I'm hoping I don't get the hiccups. So, with today's story, it's Mr. Tickle. And this is the first book that was in the Mr. Miss series. It's the first story that Roger Hargreaves wrote for his children. Oh, and, which I forgot to mention, let's look at Mr. Tickle. He is orange, and he's got long arms, and one arm is holding a blue hat, and I don't know if he's taken it off his head or if he's putting it back on his head. It was a warm, sunny morning in his small house on the other side of the forest. Mr. Tickle was asleep. You didn't know that there was such a thing as a tickle, did you? Well, there is. Tickles are small and round, and they have arms that stretch and stretch and stretch. Extraordinary long arms. Mr. Tickle was fast asleep. He was having a dream. It must have been a very funny dream because it made him laugh out loud, and that woke him up. He sat up in bed, stretched his extraordinary long arms, and yawned an enormous yawn. And enormous means really big. Mr. Tickle felt hungry, so do you know what he did? What did Mr. Tickle do? He reached out one of his extraordinary long arms, opened the bedroom door, reached down the stairs, opened the kitchen door, reached into the kitchen cupboard, opened the cookie jar, took out a cookie, brought it back upstairs, in through the bedroom door, and back to his bed. As you can see, it's very useful indeed having arms as long as Mr. Tickle's. Mr. Tickle munched his cookie. He looked out of the window. Today looks very much like a tickling day, he thought to himself. So later that morning, after Mr. Tickle had made his bed and cooked his breakfast, he set off through the forest. As he walked along, he kept his eyes very wide open, looking for somebody to tickle, looking for anybody to tickle. Eventually, Mr. Tickle came to a school. There was nobody around, so, reaching his extraordinary long arms up to a high window ledge, Mr. Tickle pulled himself up and peeked in through the open window. Inside he could see a classroom. There were children sitting at their desks and a teacher writing on the blackboard. Mr. Tickle waited a minute and then reached in through the window. Mr. Tickle's extraordinary long arm went right up to the teacher, paused, and then tickled. The teacher jumped in the air and turned around very quickly to see who was there. But there was nobody there. Mr. Tickle grinned a mischievous grin. He waited another minute and then tickled the teacher again. This time he kept tickling until the teacher was laughing and saying, stop it," over and over again. All the children were laughing too at such a funny sight. There was a terrible pandemonium, a terrible commotion or kerfuffle. Eventually, Mr. Tickle thought that he had had enough fun, so he gave the teacher one more tickle for luck and then very quietly brought his arm back through the open window. Chuckling to himself, he jumped down from the window, leaving the poor teacher to explain what it was all about, which of course he couldn't. Then Mr. Tickle went to town. And what a day Mr. Tickle had! He tickled the policeman on traffic duty in the middle of town. Oh my! It caused an enormous traffic jam. He tickled the greengrocer just as he was piling apples neatly in his shop window. Oh no! The greengrocer fell over backward and the apples rolled all over the shop. Oh, what a waste of good apples. And I'm hoping the greengrocer is okay. At the railroad station, the guard was about to wave his flag for the train to leave. As he lifted his arm in the air, Mr. Tickle tickled him. And every time he tried to wave his flag, Mr. Tickle tickled him until the train was 10 minutes late, leaving the station, and all the passengers were furious. And furious means very angry. That day, Mr. Tickle tickled everybody. He tickled the doctor, he tickled the butcher. He even tickled old Mr. Stamp, the postman who dropped all his letters into a puddle. Oh, that's not good. I'm glad now we have emails. Then Mr. Tickle went home. Sitting in his armchair in his small house on the other side of the forest, he laughed and laughed every time he thought about all the people he had tickled. So if you are in any way ticklish, beware of Mr. Tickle and those extraordinary long arms of his. Just think, perhaps he's somewhere around at this very moment while you're reading this book. Let's look. I don't see him. Is he by you? Perhaps that extraordinary long arm of his is already creeping up the door of this room. Perhaps it's opening the door now and coming into the room. Perhaps before you know what is happening, you will be ready and really and truly tickled. What did you think of that story? Well, it sounds like Mr. Tickle really enjoys tickling people. I don't know if the other people really enjoy being tickled that much, but there's some people that just always like to tickle other people. Do you have anyone like that in your family? Well, if you do, comment below. Well, we're almost wrapping up our time together today. So let's wrap up our time the same way that we started it, with a deep breathing exercise, and then I'm going to share some funny jokes with you. So with that, let's remind our body that we're safe right here and right now. And when you're ready, inhale deeply for 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's hold the breath for Now let's exhale out for 8. what a good reminder that we are safe right here and right now, and we always have our breath that we can go back to again and again. And now let me reach for the joke book and share some jokes with you that will hopefully help you to relax. So here is the first knock knock joke. Knock knock, who's there? Petunia. Petunia who? Petunia seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Oh, put on your seatbelt. That's cute. And let's read our last joke today. Knock knock, who's there? Armadillo. Armadillo who? Delicious piece of pizza, but please don't eat me. Let me read it again. A delicious piece of pizza, but please don't eat me. Is it saying I'm a delicious piece of pizza, but please don't eat me? I don't get that joke. If you get it, please write it in the comments below, but I'm hoping that it made you laugh in some way. Well, it's been wonderful spending time with you, and thank you for joining me today. And if you're with an adult, please remind the adult to subscribe to this channel and then to click on the bell icon, because that will send you reminders of when more shows are coming, so you can come back and watch more shows and do deep breathing. Well, it's been wonderful spending time with you, and until next time, bye.